So, hello everybody. Thank you for joining me this evening. Normally, obviously, we'd put up a pre-recorded video every day. That's what we try and do. We make videos about cleaner, greener, safer, and smarter transportation. And we've it's not like we want to read your hat, shirt, or boards. That is true. We want to make content that is appropriate to everybody. And as you can see, we have a pretty lousy internet connection here in the countryside. We have a 20 megabit per second internet connection. It's 20 megabits per second down, and it's 20 megabits per second up. And sometimes the internet connection doesn't work as it should do. Now, obviously, we can't do 4K live streams from the house because we just don't have the bandwidth. And the 4K videos that we record on these little SanDisk drives that we plug into our Blackmagic camera, this is what we record in. But obviously, when we upload it to the internet, we have to transcode it and we have to make sure that it's the highest possible quality it can be. But it can take a couple of hours to upload to YouTube from here. And so what we do is we try and produce videos ahead of the curve wherever possible. Lately, since COVID came along, I've found myself slipping in the evening and I'm uploading videos later and later in the day. And that doesn't really help me and it doesn't really help you guys. And today, I was working on two different scripts. We've got some private contractor work coming up this week. So we're going to be producing a video for a non-EV, non-transportation video. We're going to be working on that as a bit of a side project, a little bit of extra cash in the bank. And so I've been working to get some extra videos out prepared in time. And today I was going to put up a video about, it was either going to be a video about Lordstown Motors and some of the things that's going on there, or Mercedes-Benz and its new vehicles that are coming up here. So those scripts are ready to go, but I looked at the clock and I realized it was late and I didn't really want to sit in the studio and film and get it wrong and then spend probably another 2 hours editing those videos, transcoding them, uploading them. It would be nearly midnight before the videos got online for some of you guys, and that doesn't help anybody. I'm glad you like this shirt. We're going to see if we can try and put this in the new store. We need to make sure that there's no copyrighted images. We're getting really hot on copyrights because of what's been going on with Nikola, and there's really good reason for that. We actually had a takedown notice on a t-shirt design that we had because we had the name of a vehicle in the description. That's how crazy some of these sites can be when we're putting content down. So today, instead of kind of rushing through and putting those videos through, I decided that I wanted to talk to you about a new project that I want to make, and I need your help with this. So this is not the documentary. I will be talking to you guys at a future point about the documentary. I want to lose a bit more weight and get a little bit healthier before I do the documentary, primarily because I know I'm going to be running around a lot, and I know that kind of in a post-COVID world, hopefully, if we do get post-COVID, I'm going to be running around a little bit more, and I want to get Transport Evolved to a point where it can tick over nicely on its own before I do that. But today I want to talk to you about a project that I think is much more urgent. It's going to need all of your help to do, and that is a B-roll asset library that is completely Creative Commons. At the moment, we're thinking CC BY SA. It'll be for Creative Commons 4.0. BYSA, and that means that it's public domain, it's use. And the idea behind that is that some companies right now are getting really funny about their B-roll content, especially when people who are looking to do journalistic reporting, like ourselves, try and report on a company. Now, luckily, we've never had a takedown because of the content of the video that we've posted, but we have in the past had some issues where companies have got a little bit upset with us for using what we assumed was fair game press material on their website, and they turned around and said no. So this is exacerbated by what was happening last week with Nikola, and it's also exacerbated by what is going on. I love that you're calling it Nikola. I would love to call it Nikola, but my name, my actual name, for those who don't know, is Nikola, spelled Nichola, and people call me Nikola all the time, and so I don't like that pronunciation of my actual name, and I don't like it when people say Nikola. So I'm just going to say Nikola. Although I'm guessing you guys are probably closer to the actual phrasing. Anywho, so last week, Nikola was issuing takedown notices against YouTubers who were critical of how some YouTube, they were taking, someone's beating a horn in the distance. They were critical of how, oh, sorry, I do apologize. They were critical of how Nikola was doing its thing, and Nikola said, no, we're going to issue takedown notices and bad things. So we issued a real challenge last week, and we said, hey, we think that what you're doing, Nikola, is terrible. And we are going to make all of our Nikola World footage that we captured at Nikola World 100% available. Creative Commons, CC BY SA. We're going to make that available. We're going to put it up on YouTube, and we're going to put it up on a torrent site. I really don't know why there's a horn going. I live in the middle of nowhere, so to hear a horn either means that like there's a car stuck in the middle of the road, or maybe there's an animal out and about. It worries me slightly because my spouse is due back any minute from a trip out with the dogs. I'm going to press forwards. Anyway, we are looking at, we've published that YouTube video with all of the Nikola footage that we have rights to use. It's nearly 3 hours worth of footage. We have put that on YouTube. We've made it available Creative Commons, CC BY SA, and we're also uploading a higher quality version of that to our Dropbox. And then what we're going to do is, one of you kind people emailed me at the weekend and said, hey, I have a really fast 1 gig internet connection. I'm happy to be a seed for a torrent file for that footage. And I am afraid to say that I lost that email. So if you were that person, please reach out, because I would love to get that footage put up on the website and have everything as it should be on the website, on torrent, on the torrent network, so that people can download and share footage as they see fit. So that's the first thing. That was kind of a startup there for us. That was kind of a test. And then earlier today, we learned that Tesla is getting rid of its press division. It's getting rid of its press portal, I believe, and their press department, because Tesla doesn't talk to the press anyway. As lots of us have noted over the years, it's really difficult to get hold of Tesla. And sorry, that horn is still going. Very bizarre. Tesla is very difficult to get hold of, their press department. If there's an event or something and we want to go, we reach out to them and we say, hey, can we come? And nothing. If we have a question for them regarding a news story, nothing. I think the last time we heard from Tesla in response to a genuine press question was about 10 months ago. And we have an issue, obviously, in so much as we've only got the footage that Tesla made available to the press a long time ago of Model 3, Model S, Model Y, Model X, that's in its press portal. I'm probably going to get rid of those completely. And then we're in a position where, in the future, if we want to cover Tesla, the only way we're going to have that footage is either if we capture the live stream, which we have done before that point, as far as we're concerned, or we get people to film their footage of Teslas and blah, 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 and we put it up on YouTube or put it up on a community site, which brings me to the concept of having an open Creative Commons, BYSA, or whatever else we decide collectively it needs to be, library of different footage for different cars. So for example, if you have a decent camera and you're decent with a camera, and I'm talking like your video footage is not like the shaky wedding camera footage that sometimes you see in home videos. It's actually stabilized, it's pretty good quality. You know how to expose, you know how to deal with frame rates and lights and things like that. Upload some video that you've taken of your own personal car or whatever, and you say, hey, I would love you to use this footage in the future. The only thing I say is that you have to say you got it from me. So that's part of the CC BY You have to give attribution. So you have to say, hey, I got it from this person. And you have to share it in the same way. So you can't go, I've used this person's footage, but my stuff is copyrighted, in so much as I've made a video using this person's footage that they've provided me for free, and now I want you to pay for that. You can't do that. But what you can do is you can take your footage and share it and say, hey, my footage, by the way, is the same thing. It's available. Do with it what you want. Now, the reason I'm talking about doing this is because I genuinely think that of the content creators on YouTube today who are making videos about cleaner, greener, safer, and smarter transportation, I think the majority of them are in a similar boat to us. They have a limited budget. They don't maybe have a full-time camera person, or maybe they do, but it's only for certain events. Or they want to go to an event and cover something and they don't have a camera person with them. Then what this is about is going, hey, we're all trying to do the same thing. We're all trying to make videos to encourage people to make the switch to cleaner, greener, safer, and smarter transport. Us, you might want to ask, well, where's your revenue stream? Couldn't get my tongue around that one. Where is your revenue stream? Now, for a content creator like Transport Evolved, and I say Transport Evolved because it's more than just me, although I'm the primary presenter and I'm the owner of the company. For us, the primary revenue stream is from Google Ads, the AdSense. When you watch a YouTube video and there's an ad playing, that's where we get a lot of our money from. For those who are interested, we haven't done like a how much money does Nikki make off YouTube video, because I don't really like those very much. If you'd like us to do one, let us know. But generally, what we do is we have a spike when we first publish the video. For the first couple of days, we'll earn anything from $20 to a couple of hundred, depending on how popular the video is, from ads that are on the video. All right. And that tails off over time. But eventually, that video doesn't make us any more money. And it's just up there. We don't take that video down or ask people to pay money to watch it. We're like, hey, this is content that we created, and we put content up, and it's going to be there. Now, occasionally, hands on heart, occasionally we take videos down. We take videos down if they are factually incorrect, i.e. we screwed up and we're not able to edit it to a point that we feel comfortable leaving that up. And that happens occasionally. And when it does, I feel completely stupid and foolish. And we will either retract what we said, or we will correct what we said and put it back up and note that this is a new version of the same video. Sometimes we have to re-upload because there's a technical problem. The compressor software that I use here at the house sometimes will compress a video and it will make it appear that it was fine, and then it will just put random artifacts in it, or the audio is not behaving or whatever. Sometimes we'll upload a video to YouTube and then YouTube's transcoding system screws it up. That's more common than you'd think. And again, we then have to go back to square one and start again. So for us, the revenue stream is not necessarily about having unique footage. It's about the content, right? It's about the analysis. It's about the talent in front of the camera, whether it's myself, whether it's Kate Warner-Elliott, whether it's somebody else who's helping us out. It's about our experience and our knowledge, and explaining the market and explaining to you what the significance of what we're talking about is. Or maybe it's just entertainment. Maybe you just want to hear a crew of mainly British women talking about electric cars. I don't know. But that is our primary focus, not saying we've got the best footage or we've got footage that us can use. So what I would really love to do, and I'm going to need some help, as I say, we don't have the bandwidth here at the house, and we don't have a studio. We got rid of the studio so that we could continue the channel, because for me, keeping everybody employed that works at Transport Evolved is more important than having a big flashy studio with all the gear. And actually getting rid of the studio meant we were able to upgrade our cameras this year, which I'm sure a lot of you have noticed. And so what we are looking to do is come up with a system, and if there are any software engineers or any people who are willing to help, let me know in the comments below to this video, or better still, jump onto Discord. Follow the link for the Discord Transport Evolved channel, and I'll probably set up a special chat room for people who are willing to help. And this is not a money-making scheme for us. This is purely a way of making sure that when somebody does a video about a car, they have footage that is appropriate. I don't have to just randomly rip off a stranger's YouTube video. I hope nobody in the community revenue, etc., etc. So what I'm proposing, as I say, is basically I need a way of getting people to sign up for such a thing and say, hey, I have footage of X. I would like to offer it to you guys. This is what we've got. I want a way of somebody literally checking the footage to make sure it's A, good quality, but B, that it is also it is high quality, but it is also legally their own. So I need somebody to help me with kind of some verbiage for a form going, I promise that this is my stuff. Effectively, I mean, obviously that's not how it's going to be, but it's kind of like we need to prove that this person who's uploading this content has right to upload that content, to upload that footage that they have generated, to agree to the terms of the license, which again is super important, because the last thing we want is for someone to upload to upload something that they then turn around and say, actually, no, I don't want you to have that. But the nice thing about the CC-BY-SA is that the new version 4.0 has an ability for someone to say to a content creator who has used their footage, I don't really like what you did with that footage. Please take my name off it, and they have to. So there are some swings and roundabouts. But I like the whole kind of free as in free. And I'm sorry about that. My headphones decided that I wasn't making a noise and decided to stop, because I'm talking to you and there's no music coming through the headphones. So obviously, those content creators who do upload video footage, one of the things that I was thinking about, a way of kind of getting around the whole idea of, well, we just, drove halfway across the country to film something. I don't necessarily just want to give that away. One way of around that is to say to content creators, okay, so you just did a really awesome review of a new shiny electric car. You got exclusive access to it. Nobody else has got access to it yet. You are totally within your liberty to sit on that for 3 months or 6 months or a year. And if in a year's time you're like, that footage we shot was really good, we made all the money off that we are going to make off that, we'll then donate it to this open source project. So I want to know what you guys think. And someone says, what, Elon doesn't talk to you? Tesla doesn't talk to any journalists. Really, really, honestly, Tesla does not talk to any journalists anymore. It's been a slow progressing thing over the last couple of years, but it's gone from being able to almost get a response from Tesla the next day to maybe getting a response a few days later to no response. And so I have mixed views, because at the end of the day, car companies are relying on the media to talk about their products, to talk about their vehicles, to review them, to cover them, to inform the public about what's coming down the pipe. And if they don't make press releases available, they don't have a press department that responds to queries, it makes it really hard for genuine kind of more traditional automotive channels to actually cover these vehicles. Because, you know, if you have a question, I remember once I had a question about a Porsche Taycan press release, and I fired off an email to Porsche going, is this a typo? You know, there's two different figures here, nothing doesn't seem to quite add up. And they responded with, no, that we should have been clearer. It's just that this car has a slightly different aerodynamic quality to this one, and therefore XYZ. And then it made total sense. Now, if I couldn't get hold of that press department and I couldn't get hold of that information, that would be really, really hard. So I'm not talking about people using just open source content, but I'm talking about supplementing what is already out there. Now, there are some car companies out there. Sorry, there's a fly flying around in front of the camera. There are some companies out there that do a great job. So all of the German brands have generally got great B-roll packages available. They have a lot of time and a lot of money invested into making those. So the Mercedes-Benzes of the world, Volkswagen, Audi especially. Audi's B-roll packages are incredible. BMW is really good as well. They all have good quality, high resolution B-roll packages that you can download from their website if you are a member of an accredited press, which, you know, we are. But some of the smaller companies and startups, well, it's a bit of hit and miss. And sometimes, you know, you spend a couple of days trying to chase B-roll footage, and then a company turns around and provides you with what is essentially marketing material that you can't use because it's got text all over it talking about how brilliant their car is. And you're like, I don't want to send subliminal messages to the audience about this product. I just want to have a picture of that car driving down the road. And so that can sometimes be a challenge too. Chinese companies do that all the time. They put a lot of text over it. So it's kind of an Asian thing. Actually, I've noticed Japanese and Korean companies do it as well. When it comes to B-roll content, while Nissan is generally pretty good, Honda is terrible. Honda is one of the hardest companies to get B-roll packages from. The same is true for Toyota. So again, another benefit to having this library and setting it up is that, you know, if you have a video that you want to make about a used electric car and you go, okay, do we have any good footage of a Honda Clarity EV? You look and go, oh yeah, so-and-so, this owner spent a couple of hours filming their car and some of the footage is really good, and we can just upload it and download it, and we can put it into our library as long as we give that person proper accreditation. We're great. And that is where I'm heading. So let me know if you think this is a good idea. I would love to know your thoughts. Again, I don't want to keep harping on about it, but I think it will help people make better content. I think it will help people make better quality videos. And I think ultimately it will help the entire community, whether it is somebody who does not make content regularly about electric vehicles, like it could be someone who is a lifestyle blogger who suddenly needs a video of a Renault Zoe going down the road. They know where to look as well. And I would really like to promote that moving forwards. My wife has just come back, so I can stop worrying about the horns now because she's literally just pulled into the driveway. So that's good. Some people were asking, how do you make the videos look like we are in a big studio? Oh, okay. So this is the edit room, which is our family office at the house. Where I film is in a different room. We have a reasonably good house. It's like 2,000 square feet, and our guest bedroom, which is 18 by 12, I think. It was a great guest room, and it was, and I had all my sewing gear out there and all my costumes and everything. They were all set up in there, but now that is my studio. So, you know, some of my costumes, like this girl here, in a cupboard in my in my office instead, which is a bit sad, really. Let me just rescue her because I just knocked her off. Poor girl. I'm sorry, Queenie. So that is how we do that. You still stuck on this B-roll topic? Yeah, I am, because I want to make sure that everybody in the community has access. Doesn't have to be Nikola. It could be some great Tesla stuff. It could be some great other stuff. And I'm going to try and talk to some other content creators in the next week or so and see if we can get them on board as well, because it doesn't work if it's just me going, hey, we should create some Creative Commons content and share it with everybody else. I'm not interested in getting rich. I'm interested in seeing people make a switch to smarter transportation solutions for them. And if that smarter transportation solution is buying a brand new top of the line Tesla Model Y dual motor performance, great. If that is going down to their local bicycle shop and buying a cheap electric commuter bicycle, or even just a regular bicycle, and getting rid of their 15-year-old unreliable gas guzzler that keeps breaking down, I'm all for that too. If it's, I'm going to sell my car and I'm going to use car share programs or public transit, again, that is what I want people to think about. I'm not interested in the brand on the hood. I'm interested in getting people switched. And that's why I want to make this open source effectively. It's not open source, it's Creative Commons, but that's why I want this library to exist. But it can only exist if you guys go, hey, that's a good idea, and I think we should do that. So we are going to go back. We're going to look at some of our footage. I do know that we have some Archimoto footage we could probably put up under Creative Commons, but it's only going to work if other people do it too. So there's a whole load of footage that we don't have that we would love to have. European cars, for example, we don't have a lot of user-generated or self-generated footage from Europe, and I think it's really important. You know, cameras are getting better, the quality of videos are getting better. There are some truly amazing videographers in this community who don't necessarily make videos on electric cars, who don't want to stand in front of a camera and go blah 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 like I do. They might just want to stand in behind the camera and make good footage, and this also gives them a chance of being part of this community and expanding the knowledge and expanding the love and getting more people plugging in, dumping the pump, or just leaving, you know, heavy energy inefficient transport behind. Which is why Transport Evolved, by the way, is called Transport Evolved. Transport Evolved is not called Nikki's Electric Car Channel, because it would be incredibly arrogant of me to assume that electric vehicles are the only solution or the solution forever. You know, when I'm 80, hopefully, touch wood, I will get to 80. Very few people in my family get to retirement age. Hopefully, I will be one of them. When I get to 80, I want to turn back and look at the content we've created and the community that we've created and go, yeah, we did a good thing. We helped people switch the way that they use their energy, the way that they use their transportation. And again, someone was talking about drones, Jim. That's another great thing. So here's a fun one. Oh, and by the way, sometimes when we see footage that we want, we reach out to other people on YouTube and say, hey, can we use footage? About 80% of the time they go, yeah, that's fine. And we obviously, when we reach out, we go, hey, we'd like to use your footage. We can't pay you, but we can link back to your channel. We can make sure that you're credited. And they generally go, yeah, that's fine. I've noticed Europeans do that more than Americans. Very often, if I ask, not always, sometimes there are some great American people who say, yeah, sure, go ahead. But very often you'll find someone who goes, no, this is licensed by such and such, and if you want it, you have to pay us $1 million. It's not $1 million, it's normally a couple of $100. And for a scale production company like Transport Evolved, we just can't afford throwing $200 every time we need to use a video clip. It's just unsustainable for us. So yeah, so that's the other side of that coin. As well. And drones, I was going to talk about drones. With drones, as a company, as a production company, we can't film with drones without being licensed under the whatever the rules are here in the United States. We have to have a license to operate a camera drone, and we have to go through the training and all of that. But if you are somebody who is just filming for fun, then hey, it would be really good if we could get a drone shot. And we're like, we don't have a drone, we don't have a license. But if you know somebody who has a drone who just happens to be there, they shot a video and they just donated it to us, to the project, and we were able to put a drone shot in there. So that's it. I do apologize that the connection is being flaky. I hope that you enjoyed that little kind of fireside chat from us and the team here. We do have some great things coming down the pike. And we want to grow the channel more. So if you are somebody who has a big fat internet connection and you'd be willing to help us share these torrents, these open source Creative Commons torrents, and I have to say that because people think that torrents are bad, because torrents are normally used to share, copyrighted stuff. We're going, no, we want to use torrents to share legitimately Creative Commons free stuff. I know that Linux distributions are shared through torrents. Same kind of thing, free for everybody, help distribute it, make sure that all of these copies go about and everybody gets to have that same awesome stuff. So if you have a big fat connection and you would like to help us seed the Nikola content, please reach out or join in the Discord chat room. I'm going to put a link to the Discord chat room in the description for this video. Join in there, and it's a bit crazy here at Transport Evolved for the next couple of days. We've got a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes, but hopefully we'll be able to make that content available, and the upload has 2 days to go. So when that's all good, James, you are a gentleman. Thank you very much for your donation there. That will go towards helping the company run. So that really is it. If you want to hang for a few more minutes, I've got a few more minutes. We can have like a little hang time, and we can do a quick AMA. I can give you a quick update on some of the projects if you would so like. John Klein, we need the Discord link. I'm going to grab it right now. Stay right there. It's very quiet when I don't say anything. The awkward silence. All right, here's the Discord channel. I'm going to put it right in that link there. So join the Discord channel. I will try and make a chat room when we're done here, and then you guys can tell me what you think. And if you think this is a stupid project, stupid idea, and you think it's the dumbest thing you've ever heard, also please tell me, because I don't want to waste my time doing something that you guys think is dumb. But at the end of the day, I think it's time that we moved away from a society where everything has to be about money. And sometimes if an idea is a good idea, it should be spread free of charge. And that's ultimately what we're going to do. So there we go. Nikki, what would your EV policy be as far as credits, incentives, if you were president of the United States? I assume that's what you're asking. Well, I mean, obviously, I cannot be a president of the United States because I was not born in America. I am an American citizen, and I will be voting in the November election, just so that you know. In terms of my policies, I think I would want to get rid of, the fossil fuel subsidies, and I would want to push the research and development. I like what Vice President Biden is proposing, spending, the same kind of more than was actually spent sending man to the moon on developing clean energy projects. We have it, it's called a moonshot for a reason. And if you look at the history books, they were acting under significant duress. They didn't want the Soviet Union to be the first to land on the moon. And so they were throwing a lot of money at that problem and seeing what they could come up with. We have some amazing minds around the world in every country. And I think this is a global problem and it needs a global solution. And I think governments around the world need to stop pandering to corporate interests and start actually looking after their citizens. The other thing I would like to see is Musk will be able to rule Mars, says John. The other thing I would like to see is more incentives to get electrified transportation into communities that could better them. One of the things we don't talk about very often, one of the reasons why EV projects with the Morris Minor and also the Honda Insight, you don't need to have a massive paycheck to go electric. You know, my first electric car was £2,000, and from the savings I got from that, I was able to convert my Prius to a plug-in Prius, and from that I put that money towards another electric car, and then another electric car, and then another electric car, and before you know it, I live in America and we have 2 Chevrolet Bolts, and that's how it has worked. Now we are looking at very kind of in a very insular way, a very inward-looking way at the moment as a nation here in the United States. And I think we need to start internet connection. Now we live we live out in the boonies and we have 20 megabits per second, and that is unfortunately what we have. Sometimes it means that our internet uploads fail. But I do apologize. I am going to go because it is 7:45 in the evening. So if you missed the start of this video, please go back and watch it. I would love to know what you think. I want to do this for the community. I want to get other creators on board as well. So spread the word. If you think it's a good thing, let me know. Let's make this happen. Let's make the world a better place. Let's just do it because it's a good thing to do, because it's the right thing to do, rather than because we think we're going to make money from it. In my experience, when you just do the right thing because it's the right thing, other people follow you, and things like financial gain stop being a problem. Anyway, is Sally pecking at the wires? I don't think so, because it's a Wi-Fi signal, but there is a storm moving in as far as I'm aware, so maybe it's that. Keep evolving.